President, I now ask unanimous consent that we go into a period of morning business centers allowed to speak therein for up to 10 minutes each.
Without objection.
What was said? We just went into morning business. We would like to go into morning business.
I have an amendment.
Senator from Arizona.
I have an amendment that I've been trying to get a vote on, I would say, to the distinguished majority leader, and it certainly is important to the American people, certainly is important on this bill and the functions of the FDA concerning the importation of prescription drugs into this country. I believe the Senator from North Dakota's amendment, and I would agree to a time agreement within an hour equally divided or half hour equally divided, and vote on it. But I think the American people ought to know whether we're going to be able to import prescription drugs into this country so to save them billions of dollars every year rather than take so much of their hard-earned money, especially retirees.
Madam President,
the majority leader.
I'd be happy to respond to my friend. We have been trying for 2 days to move forward on germane amendments. I have had several conversations with Senator Dorgan. I know how important he feels. I voted with him and you every time this matter's come up. And I would be happy, as I indicated here earlier, to work out some kind of an agreement on this. But at this time, until we get some ability to vote on the germane amendments, it just doesn't seem like the right thing to do. I'm willing on, as I've indicated to my friend Senator Dorgan, to work out some arrangement for him to offer this amendment. This is something that should have been done, I'm sorry to say, years ago, not weeks ago. And so I will work with the distinguished senator from Arizona on this drug reimportation, which is important. But at this stage, we just simply can't. I know of no way to get from here to there. But as I did say, and the manager of this bill is here, if we can work something out over by Monday, well, I'm happy to try to work something on this. No one's trying to stop you from offering this amendment. We just have to have some agreement to move forward on the other stuff first, because they're germane.
Well, let me say to the majority leader.
I have the floor, Madam President.
Would the senator yield for?
Yeah, without losing the floor, I'd be happy to, sure.
I just say to the majority leader, I'm very appreciative of the difficulties that he faces on a bill of this nature, and the challenges of amendments and non-germane, and also it's the difficulties that he faces in managing legislation. This issue has been around for a long time. Could I say to my friend from Nevada, it's been around for a long time. We should address it. It's important to the American people. It really does have a lot to do with the pharmaceuticals in this country, and its availability. And I would point out again to the distinguished majority leader, there shouldn't be a lot of debate on this. I mean, people have taken their positions. But I also know that pharma, and I have an email that was sent to us by mistake by the lobbying pharma, how important it is to them to stop this amendment and not have a vote on it. Let me just, if my friend will indulge me just for a second, it's an important, urgent. This is from as I understand it, from the lobbyist of pharma. The Senate is on the tobacco bill today. Unless we get some significant movement, the full-blown Dorgan or Vitter bill will pass an amendment, and a Cochran or Brownback safety amendment will fail. 1, we need to locate a Democratic lead co-sponsor for the second-degree amendment. Goes on that, can the J&J, Merck, Novartis, Pfizer, and the other New Jersey companies coordinate and contact Senator Menendez's office and ask him to take the lead? 2, we're trying to get Senator Dorgan to back down, calling the White House and Senator Reid. Our understanding is that at least Senator McCain has said he will offer regardless. So even if Dorgan withdraws, we may still go forward. We believe we have 39 yes votes for a safety second-degree amendment and 25 members in the undecided column. Kennedy, who whipped this for us last time, is not here. We're scheduling a call for later this morning to follow up on our targets from yesterday's whip call. Please make sure your staff is fully engaged in this process. This is real. We only had 6 companies participate in the last call. My friends, a little insight as to how the special interests in Washington work. And I really would like to have a vote on this amendment, I say to my friend from Nevada, with full appreciation of the difficulties that he has in getting this legislation through, a very important piece of legislation. I thank my friend from Nevada for his indulgence in allowing me to read that email. Thank you.
Madam President, that is really kind of inside. I don't know who's on first, but it's pretty interesting. Madam President, I suggest the absence of quorum.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka.
Senator from Connecticut.
Madam President, I listened carefully to the conversation between the majority leader and our friend and colleague from Arizona. I just want to, as the manager of this bill on smoking, let me just say, I for one have also been a strong advocate of the reimportation proposal that Senator McCain and Senator Dorgan, among others, have expressed an interest in. I think most of my colleagues have expressed their views on this matter, and I suspect a majority have expressed their support for the idea. Here's the reason why, so my colleagues know. This is not about denying a vote on reimportation. I think we'd all like that opportunity. The majority leader has indicated he'll give us one. This bill on smoking and children is about as fragile a proposal that I've seen here in a long time. There are strong voices that would like to kill this legislation, and have, effectively. The Food and Drug Administration has jurisdiction over almost every product you can think of, except tobacco, including pet food. We've wasted 10 years trying to get to this bill. You lose 1 or 2 votes on this bill here, you lose this bill again, and we're back where we were for the last decade. And so there will be any number of very attractive ideas proposed to this legislation, many of which I've either supported or would like to support. But with the full knowledge in doing so, I run the risk of breaking up that necessary 60 votes to deal with children and smoking. So no matter how appealing some of these amendments may be, understand what you may be doing, and that is destroying the ability to deal with the 3,000 to 4,000 kids who start smoking every day and the 400,000 people who die every year. So I want to vote on reapportionment as well. I want to vote on a lot of issues around here. But if every time we bring up a bill of this significance and someone offers a very appealing proposal, understand that the danger is you fracture that relationship that has denied us the opportunity to pass this bill for a decade, despite the fact that both bodies have voted overwhelming, but not at the same Congress. And we're on the brink of getting this done. And what better thing could we accomplish on the eve of the health care debate than to start saving the lives of children? I've got 76,000 kids in Connecticut. They're going to die because they're smokers. 76,000 of them. There's 6 million children today who are going to die prematurely because of smoking. Now, as much as I want to deal with reapportionment or reimportation of drugs, if we do that and it's adopted and we lose the coalition on smoking, what have we achieved? The bill dies. You lose both reimportation as well as the smoking proposal. So I appreciate the majority leader taking the position he did. I know where he stands on the issue. Harry Reid has been a strong advocate of reimportation. That's not the issue here. The issue is whether or not, at long last, a decade later, our colleague from Massachusetts, Senator Kennedy, Mike DeWine, our former colleague from Ohio, Henry Waxman from California, Tom Davis of Virginia, and a bipartisan basis, have tried year in and year out to get this done. And we haven't been able to achieve it. And so I know the game, but this is not a game. This is life and death with people. And for 10 long years, we've not been able to pass legislation involving kids and smoking. And we can get it done in the next few days. But if people are going to insist upon non-germane amendments based on a short-term appeal that denies us that opportunity, we will have done great damage again to our country. So I appreciate immensely the position the majority leader has taken. And my colleagues know, because I did go through the process last week in our committee, there were any number of appealing amendments. And I want to thank the members of the committee who wanted to vote for some of those amendments. I see my good friend Jeff Merkley from Oregon here, member of our committee. There were a number of amendments he and I would have liked to have supported, including additional penalties and fines on those who would market these products to kids. But we knew full well that if we did that, we might break that fragile coalition to get us to the goal line of passing this bill. So I, for one, want to stand here and say thank you to the majority leader for standing up on an issue that he cares deeply about, the reimportation of drugs, because he understands, as does the presiding officer, as do all of us here who have loved ones, who cared about, who've been smokers, who've been affected by tobacco, and the harm and damage it does to our citizenry. It's the only disease I know that's self-inflicted, and there are more deaths each year as a result of smoking and tobacco products than alcohol, drugs, suicide, AIDS combined, automobile accidents. It's the greatest killer in America, and we have a chance to make a difference on it. The day will come for reimportation, and we ought to get to it. But if you do it on this bill, understand you lose both, reimportation and the smoking bill. That's the danger. And I thank the Majority Leader. I yield the floor.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Akaka.